Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Red, White, and Bills. I am your host, Sean. We got a little fun show today. Just want to preface this whole show with letting everyone know I am a huge fan of Gregory Rousseau. I love Greg Rousseau. I was super pumped when we drafted him. I think he's got a huge ceiling to be an elite player in this league. But the reason I'm making this video is over the past offseason, I've been hearing a lot of Gregory Rousseau is a top 3 edge defender in the run stopping game. He's an elite player. He's really good, right? And as much as I want to say, yeah, he's really good. He's elite. I was watching the games. I'm watching the film, and I'm just it's not adding up to me that he's an elite or top 3 run stopper. And it made me think, like, let me compare him to his peers around the league. So I just want to say it. This video took hours to prepare for, with help of my friends Mike from Nickel City Mafia and Brett from Gold Bills Podcast. We were able to gather statistics of about, I think it was 7 categories. I started with 10 and then narrowed it down to 7. And then I started with 64 names. I wanted to do the starting defensive ends or edge rushers for each team. And then just got, super difficult with who was actually the starters on the back end of the really crappy teams. And I just like, you know what, this is a ton of work. And I don't think anyone really cares about the bottom 60, edge rushers. So I just said, let's do 32 of them. There's a couple of teams that I didn't put any for, like the Bears, Cardinals. But there's a couple of teams I put more than one for. But there's 32 names, and probably 95% of them are the number 1 starter edge rusher for their team. And we're going to compare where Greg Rousseau goes with his peers. This is a completely unbiased, based on statistical categories that I didn't make up. I just chose the same categories for each player, and then we're going to see. And then we're going to decide together, up until this point in his career, have we, as a fan base, overhyped him and saying he's elite? And it's normal to do that. We're fans. We love our players, and sometimes we get lost in the sauce of there's no other team but our team. There's no other players but our players. Oh, they all should be all pros. They're all the top 3 this, top 5 that. And sometimes we just have to realize that that's not true. And then also, what is elite to people? Is it top 5? Is it top 3? Or even top 10? I'll even give for defensive ends, because there's 2 starters for each team, or edge rusher, however your defense is set up. So there's 64, right? So I would say a top 10 in a category would be elite, or multiple top 10 categories overall. So that's my baseline for elite. Everyone else's might be different. But again, just want to preface this whole video with, I love Gregory Rousseau. I think he could break out this year. It's about time. Year 4, athletic freak, fast, strong, and learning under the tutelage of Von Miller. So by year 4, I'm expecting you to just ball out. So again, nobody get mad at me. I love Greg Rousseau. I'm not hating on Greg Rousseau. This is just, I was curious because everyone says he's a top 3 run stopper. A lot of people out there, Twitter, YouTube community. So I just wanted to put it to the test. So these, again, unbiased. I have no ill will towards them. I was just curious, and we're going to get into it. First, I just want to, they don't have more than the top 10 for run stop win rate. And I chose run stop win rate as a statistic because that's stopping the run, right? And I'll show you who's in the top 10 for that. I'm going to share my screen here. And then we're going to go with this one first because it's not in the spreadsheet. And as you can see, edge, run stop win rate rankings. Max Crosby right at the top with a 36%. Will Anderson, the rookie, number 2. Samson Ebukam, number 3. Carl Granderson, number 4. Anthony Jennings, number 5. Jermaine Johnson, the Jets, number 6. Myles Garrett, number 7. Bradley Chubb, number 8. Tuli Tupulutu, number 9. And Nick Bosa, number 10. And these are all edge rushers. They're not corners. They're not defensive tackles. This is edge rusher. Run stop win rate. So in my category of being elite would be top 10. Gregory Rousseau is not in the top 10 for run stop win rate. And again, people were mentioning he's a top 3 run stopper. This is one of those statistics you would hope that he'd be in the top 3 for, at least top 5. And unfortunately, he is not in the top 10 for that. So I'm going to stop at that screen. And now we're going to get into the big statistics with 32 defensive ends, edge rushers, and we're gonna really get into it. Let me just double check here. Where is it? It's not showing the right one. I love this. Okay, give me 1 second. I apologize for this. Okay, here we go. All right. I hope it's not too hard to see, but in this column here, the left column, I got all the edge rushers. And then for the categories, we got tackles, tackles for loss, stops, sacks, hits, hurries, and total pressures. I got every single one of them ranked from 1 to 32. And then we're going to just get through it, and we're going to see where our boy lands in all these. Again, hopefully you can see it well. I'm just going to go back and double check. Let me try to maybe zoom in a little. It might be too much, but let's double check. Okay, that's not too bad. I can deal with that. Okay. So number 1 in tackles, Max Crosby. And during this research, I realized that Max Crosby probably got screwed out of Defensive Player of the Year. But number 1 in tackles, 90. Danielle Hunter, 2 with 83. Granderson from the Saints, 78, 3rd. Khalil Mack, 74, 4th. Bradley Chubb, 73, 5th. Harold Landry, 76. Andrew Van Ginkel, 69, 7th. TJ Watt, 8th. Josh Allen, 9th. Micah Parsons, 10th. Young from the Rams, 61. Sweat, 57 at 12. Ebukam, 13th. Calais Campbell, 14th. Jermaine Johnson, 15th. Juwan Bentley, 16th. Nick Bosa, 17th. Renard is 18th with 52. We're at 19th for Boy Mafe at 52. Aiden Hutchinson at 51 at 20th. Kayvon Thibodeau, 21st. Brian Burns with 50 at 22. George Karlaftis, 47, rounding out the 23rd spot. And Anderson, I forgot his name. Will Anderson, the rookie, 45 at 24. Rashawn Gary, 44, 25th. Jadeveon Clowney, 43 total tackles at 26th. Jalen Phillips, who missed half the year, 43 tackles, 27th. Trey Hendrickson, 43 tackles, 28th. Gregory Rousseau, 42 tackles, good for 29th. Myles Garrett, 42 tackles for 30th. Yaya Diaby, 38 tackles, 31st. And Hassan Reddick, 38, 32nd. And as you probably noticed, some of the people have the same amount of tackles. Instead of doing tied, I just still ranked them from 1 to 32. And to show that I'm not trying to bury Greg Rousseau, if he's tied with someone or multiple people, I put him above all of them. So even with being tied, he's 29th in total tackles with 42. And again, tackles isn't just run stopping, but the elite of the elite, as you can see, run stopping and all, who are always going other side of the field and making tackles everywhere. Crosby, Hunter, Granderson, Khalil Mack, Bradley Chubb, the top 5, 90, 83, 78, 74, 73. That's the elite of the elite, right? Tackles for loss. Another stat that I thought was a really good run stopping statistic to use. Again, Max Crosby, number 1, 23. Danielle Hunter at 2, Khalil Mack 3, TJ Watt 4, Micah Parsons 5. Those are the top defensive ends. Josh Allen at 6, Myles Garrett at 7, Nick Bosa at 8, Trey Hendrickson 9th, Brian Burns 10th, Grenard at 11th, Landry 12th, Sweat 13th, Granderson 14th, Aiden Hutchinson 15th, Hassan Reddick 16th, Gregory Rousseau 12 at 17, Yaya Diaby, I spelled it wrong, at 18th, Kayvon Thibodeau 19th, Bradley Chubb 20th, Jermaine Johnson 21st, Will Anderson 22, Ibukam at 23, Calais Campbell at 24, Mafe at 25th, Jadeveon Clowney 26th, Young at 27th, Andrew Van Ginkel 28th, Jalen Phillips 29th, Rashawn Gary 30th, George Karlaftis 31st, and Juwan Bentley from the Patriots at 32. So far, in two pretty big categories, Greg Rousseau is 29th, and he is at 17th. Now we go to stops, which is another run statistic. Max Crosby again, number one with 58. And you see the common theme. A certain few people are always in the top 7. Max Crosby, number 1. Khalil Mack, number 2. Daniil Hunter, 3. Watt, 4. Granderson, 5. Allen, 6. Chubb, 7. Bentley, 8th. He's usually at the bottom, Bentley, but this is one of the statistics he was pretty good in. Landry at 9. Ebukam at 10. Bosa, 11. Garrett, 12. Calais Campbell, 13th. Grenard at 14th. Micah Parsons, which is kind of surprising and he's this low, 15th. Brian Burns, 16th. Aiden Hutchins, 17th. Andrew Van Ginkel, 18th. Johnson, 19th. Montez Sweat at 20th. Young, 21st. Will Anderson, 22nd. Henderson, 23rd. Gregory Rousseau, 29 at 24th. Kayvon Thibodeau, 29, 25th. Mafe is at 26th. Clowney is 27th. Karlaftis, I was horrible at spelling. Karlaftis is 28th. Reddick 29th. Jalen Phillips 30th. Rashawn Gary 31st. Yaya Diaby is 32nd. So again, just to recap, the first 3 categories: tackles for loss, and stops. Gregory Rousseau is 29th in tackles, 17th in tackles for loss, and stops, he is at 24th. And remember, he's not in the top 10 in run stop win rate. Now we go to the pass rushing, hurries, sacks, hits. And we know it's not his strong suit, but I figured as a total defensive end, we're just going to talk about it. These were mainly the run categories: tackles for loss, and stops. And then now we're going to go to the other categories. And again, this isn't to bury him. This is just to go over what people have been saying. So for sacks, TJ Watt was number 1. Allen, number 2. Hendrickson, 3. Khalil Mack, 4. Daniil Hunter, 5. Max Crosby, 6. Parsons, 7. Myles Garrett, 8th. Sweat, 9th. Grenard, 10th. Hutchinson, 11th. Thibodeau, 12th. Bradley Chubb, 13th. Reddick, 14th. Karlaftis, 15th. Joey Bosa. Nick Bosa, 16th. Landry, 17th. Ebukam, 18th. Clowney, 19th. Mafe, 20th. Rashawn Gary, 21st. Granderson, 22nd. Young, 23rd. Brian Burns, 24th. Johnson from the Jets, 25th. Yaya Diaby, 26th. Will Anderson, 27th. Jalen Phillips, who played half the year, 28th. Calais Campbell, who's 40-something years old, 29th. Andrew Van Ginkel, 30th. Gregory Rousseau, 31st. Juwan Bentley, 32nd. Okay. So I keep double checking, make sure the screen looks good. Okay. Perfect. Now we go to hits. Quarterback hits. Watt, number 1. Bosa, 2. Allen, 3. Hutchinson, 4th. Parsons, 5th. Crosby, 6th. Garrett, 7th. Sweat, 8th. Hendrickson, 9th. Reddick, 10th. Chubb, 11th. Gary, 12th. Landry, 13th. Bernard, 14th. Anderson, 15th. Hunter, 16th. Khalil Mack, 17th. Granderson, 18th. Young, 19th. Clowney, 20th. Andrew Van Ginkel, 21st. Gregory Rousseau, 22nd. Brian Burns, 23rd. Karlaftis, 24th. Ebukam, 25th. Campbell, 26th. Johnson, 27th. Thibodeau, 28th. Mafe, 29th. Bentley, 30th. Phillips, 31st. And Diaby at 32nd. Okay. 2 more categories. Okay, for hurries. Micah Parsons, excuse me. Micah Parsons, number 1. Hutchinson, number 2. Crosby, 3. Bosa, 4th. Mack, 5th. Garrett, 6th. Hunter, 7th. Allen, 8th. Clowney, 9th. Hendrickson, 10th. Karloftis, 11th. Watt, 12th. Chubb, 13th. Mafe, 14th. Riddick, 15th. Johnson, 16th. Gary, 17th. Granderson, 18th. Anderson, 19th. Sweat, 20th. Groot, 21st. AVG, 22nd. Ebicam, 23rd. Young, 24th. Landry, 26th. 25th. Thibodeau, 26th. Campbell, 27th. Grenard, 28th. Burns, 29th. Phillips, 30th. Diaby, 31st. And Bentley, 32nd. And now for total pressures to round it out, we got Micah Parsons at 1, Hutchinson 2, Bosa 3, Crosby 4, Allen 5, Mack 6, Watt 7th, Garrett 8th, Hunter 9th, Hendrickson 10th, Clowney 11th, Chubb 12th, Reddick 13th, Sweat 14th, Karloftis 15th, Gary 16th, Anderson 17th, Granderson 18th. They've been next to each other a couple times, so it's funny, Anderson, Granderson. Mafe 19th, Johnson 20th, Rousseau 21st, AVG 22nd, Young 23rd, Grenard 24th, Ebicam 25th, Landry 26th, Thibodeau 27th, Campbell 28th, Burns 29th, Phillips 30th, Diaby 31st, and Bentley 32nd. And that rounds out all the statistics we used. And again, this isn't to take shots at him, but the purpose of this video was to kind of see that narrative. Is he really a top 3 run stopper or a great defensive end? And I like to watch film and compare the film to the statistics or the PFF grades. And then when people are still saying it, I was like, let me just actually put statistics next to each other where you can't say I'm being negative. You can't say that I'm hating. You can't say that this or that. And I kind of, I'm a small guy, right? It's like punching up all the time. And when you try to say how you feel, and it's not with the norm where people are like, hey, everything's great, everything's positive, everybody's the best player in the world, this is going to be a great team. You should be able to say critiques, concerns, or anything you want about your team without the feedback of, oh, you're doom and gloom, you're negative, you're bringing down the fan base. Why are you always so down? Say something positive. I speak for those people. I want to be the guy for everyone to be able to say what they want without, maybe people are scared to comment in other, people's comment sections because of the reaction to anything that's not perfect, right? So I'll always be that. I'll always be fighting for that. And I think everyone's opinion should be heard. And, hopefully this video sees a lot of people and they can understand that this isn't coming from a place of hate or ill will. I have a lot of love for Greg Rousseau, and he's a Buffalo Bill, so I want him to be nothing but the best. And really, I was even more surprised than I thought it would be, not only because of him, but again, I feel like Max Crosby had a case for Defensive Player of the Year way over TJ Watt. And that was really eye opening. But again, I really hope that people can understand, not just for me, but people everywhere. If they're not 100%, oh, this is the best team ever. Don't knock them down. Don't say, hey, you're so negative. That's kind of insulting. They have an opinion and you don't even want to hear it. You don't want to have a conversation about the other side of the coin. And I feel like that's important in content creation and conversations in general. You can disagree, absolutely. And I don't ever want to always be right. That's not why I'm in this. I'm doing it for fun and because I want all opinions to be heard. But at the end of the day, some people, and I see it everywhere, they say something that is perceived as negative and it gets shut down immediately and you get looked at in a bad light. So hopefully this video coming from Mr. Negative or Doom and Gloom Man, it can be looked at as maybe we got to take a step back as a fan base and not crown someone as being elite or top tier before they actually get there. Again, I really think Greg Rousseau can be an elite, not just a pass rusher, but complete defensive end in this league. And this is based on last year, but his first 2 years didn't impress me either. So when people talking about let's pay him now because he had a great performance in the preseason game, And again, I found out something interesting today, just scrolling on Instagram. Again, not trying to find things to hate on the guy for. It was a Steelers creator. I said, they're talking about Broderick Jones. I said, oh, let me take a look at this. And he was saying he's been hurt in the preseason, and he wasn't even supposed to play. But their offensive coordinator Arthur Smith said he wanted him out there anyway. He has a right arm injury, and the guy was saying after he rewatched the game, he did not even extend his right arm once. And because when I was watching it, he looked off balance. He was trying to catch Rousseau on a bull rush. You don't want to catch him. You want to punch and extend your arms. Keep distance. Keep him away from you. Keep him away from the quarterback. That's where your leverage is. And he just caught him and looked completely off balance and looked like a joke. And again, not to take away credit from Greg Rousseau, he did a fantastic game. But a lot of people saw that and they're like, pay him before it's too late. No, he's been hurt for the last 2 years, and he hasn't been inspiring this first 3 years. So I would rather him ball out this year and then pay him big money because it's worth it at that point. If you pay him early and he gets hurt again, misses half the year, or doesn't produce again, then you wasted all that money. So I'm big Greg Rousseau fan. Love him. Let them arrive first. Let these players arrive before we crown them as something. That's just my opinion. And if you think the other way, I want to hear about that too. So again, really hope you guys like this video. Share it out, like it up, subscribe to the channel. And again, shout out to Brett McDurphy from Go Bills Podcast, Mike Thornton from Nickel City Mafia for the thumbnail and for some of the information. It really saved me a lot of hours because just typing it in and sorting everything took a really long time. So again, love Greg Rousseau. Let him arrive before we crown him. Go Bills. We'll see you soon.